What up, what up, what up? This your boy Shogunna, here to bring you guys another Bleach chapter review. This is Bleach chapter 576. Yeah, 576, entitled, it's one of the Kishimoto's wonderful number 2 titles. Entitled The Killer's High The Killer's High 2. Not chapter 2. The Killer's High 2. And, I liked it. Kenpachi is so badass, man. Kenpachi is so badass, man. He's hand down. Before okay. I'm just gonna give you guys some a little depth into me, a little insight into what I like. My favorite captain is Captain. Damn, I can't remember his name right now. I'm being put on the spot. Captain. It's God. I can't remember his name. Favorite captain, my ass, right? Gosh. Well, he's head captain now. I can't remember his name. As soon as I get done, as soon as I get done with this video, I'm gonna remember his name, and I'm gonna feel so fucking stupid. Oh man, Captain. Fuck it. Okay, whatever. Him. You guys know what I'm talking about. He has 2 swords, and his ability is pretty cool. It's really fucking cool. Him. He's my favorite captain. and it was Shinji. Shinji was number 2. Shinji Hirako. He was number 2. Because I always liked Shinji. When he was a visor, he was my favorite visor. And when he was introduced, I loved him. And recently, when they made him captain again, he was my favorite captain. Before all that, it was Kenpachi hands down. It was Kenpachi hands down. It was Kenpachi. Well, when we were first introduced to Mayuri was up there, but it was always Kenpachi. Kenpachi was always my favorite. And he been bumped down to 3. Now he's number 2 again. He's number 2 again. Because Shinji be getting his ass beat, man. All the fighters be getting their ass beat, but Shinji in particular, that's my boy. And he be catching that work, man. I don't really like that. but he be catching that work. Yeah. Kenpachi, number 2. And depending on what he do next chapter, he might be number 1 again. He might be number 1 again, man. He might be number 1. Okay, so I've deviated long enough. Let me get back into this chapter review. It starts off with Gremmy. He's like, he's digging this fight, man. He's really into it. Like, it's very reminiscent of Kenpachi in the early days. He was like, yeah, he's really into fighting. He's really like, yeah, I finally get a challenge, and he gets this little hard on. And he's like, yeah. So Gremmy imagines these big giant swords around him because Kenpachi's coming in the air. He's coming from the air. He's coming to slice down on Gremmy, and Kenpachi clean cuts those swords. He's like, come on, didn't you hear me, man? I said it's useless. I can cut iron clean like that. And and then he slashes Gremmy on the shoulder, and then Gremmy says, he's like, aren't you the one? It's like, aren't you the one who's doing the useless thing? I can heal myself like nothing. And then Kenpachi, he can't pull his sword out, and then Gremmy makes this big giant arm. I don't know what it's made out of, but it's a big giant arm. Slams Kenpachi into the ground. Kenpachi cuts through it like it's like it's nothing. Cuts through it, and by this time, moments after that, Gremmy notices that he has a large cut, gushing out blood. And he's like, oh man, this is problematic for Gremmy. Because one, Gremmy has a huge wound. He has to focus on healing that wound. And two, on when he focuses on healing that wound, Kenpachi's already hit him with, you know, two more attacks. And then on three, the third problem that it presents is now Gremmy has to focus solely on healing himself. That's where his focus has to be. He has to be solely on healing himself because he's so far behind, you know, so far behind the gun that he can't afford to dish out, you know, think about an attack because he's so focused on the hits that he's receiving. So it's kind of a problem for him, and you can see this in the manga because Gremmy's actually starting to think like, wow, this guy, he has no hesitation in his cuts. Like, I actually think I'm about to lose here. Mayday, man down. Shit's not about to go my way. He's like, well, am I really about to lose? And Kenpachi, he stops. He's like, come on, what the fuck is this, man? What are you doing? He's like, you just give up? You stop? He's like, oh, I see. You've already imagined your defeat, huh? And then Gremmy, he thinks about it. He's like, no. And he's like, thank you. He's like, I forgot about my death. So killing me is impossible now. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. Because he's started to think. This is how crazy this shit is. He started to think about him dying. That's what was causing him to lose. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. So after that, he pulls out his most amazing power. He can actually create life. It's crazy. It's crazy. He creates another person just like him who has his same power. He looks exactly like him. So it's like a clone, but it's not a clone. It's an actual person. It's him. It's the same. He has the same power. I guess he thinks the same, but he can create life. And they're going to start to, you know, and have double the imagination power. And then at the end he creates a giant ass meteorite, massive ass meteorite that will destroy it's going to level Sarate. It's going to level it, completely level it. And he said he's going to be the only one that's left alive. And Kenpachi's just like, yeah. He's just like, oh yeah, something else I get to cut. And then he says, Nozarashi. Yeah, he says Nozarashi. I don't know if that's his name of the sword or what, but I'm really hyped. I'm really, really hyped to see this next episode. I mean, next chapter. Oh, man. Likes of the chapter, Kenpachi. Fucking Kenpachi. Kenpachi. And then the fact that this guy, Gremmy, has another hack. His hacks doesn't fall short of being a god, man. He can create life, man. Hacks. Just hacks. Hacks upon hacks upon hacks. Dislikes. And for short, I wanted more. It's only dislike, man. I wanted more, man. I wanted more Kenpachi, man. So, yeah, man. I'm gonna call this a video. It's your boy Shogunna. Be sure to hit this comment section, man. Hit it up. And if you like what you see, subscribe. It's your boy Shogunna, man. Peace, and I'm out.